Okay, there's quite a lot of stuff happening on the HR side, so let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay. Okay, great. Boo, are you the?
Ara is the recorder.
Okay, I'm recording now. So Ara's not here. She's on the yeah, campus. Okay, so we're having currently at Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. Yeah, Boo Boo mentioned that this does actually put Ara a little bit up. I think we are more clear about how to do OKRs, and really, I think at this point it's just following up on candidates and seeing where they are along the pipeline. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this off. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, OKRs are for the new month, should be up by now. So hopefully everybody is okay. All right. So let's see. If you haven't finished your OKR yet, please just finish your OKR today, and then have them ready by the next sync up on Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
That way we should be leading for everyone else too as well. Okay. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second thing. Right. So wow, this sync up was easy. We're done. The Tuesday sync up was just about OKRs. Let's see. Well, since there's really no update on the OKRs from before.
I have a question actually.
Yes,
on the
okay,
OKR.
to-
Can you please open it?
Yeah.
So I
opening your-
haven't done it, but I can have a visibility on what I'm going to do on October.
Okay.
I put it there, but it's really like a scratch. Like
Okay. Maybe this is a good time. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Let's work on OKRs together because this is actually a good opportunity. I forgot. Yeah. Spending the first day of the month working on OKRs is not actually a bad idea. All right. So once again, before you set your OKRs, really think about what you're really trying to do. We're really trying to improve an SLA, and we're trying to improve a process, right? So before that can begin, let's go and focus on that. So where do we go, Boo Boo, in order to know SLAs? So I think actually for the next few months, up until probably December, we should probably have that available, right? We should probably have that document up there so that we can just, sort of remind ourselves of it. That's ultimately what we're trying to do. So we got the squad workflow and SLA here. So I'm going to tag that real quick. And then I'm going to open it. And what I'd like to do, if Vito will allow me, is I'll paste that there. So that way we have a focus. We're trying to get these workflows to be more excellent. All right, so let's check out what the current workflows are and which workflow we actually want the OKRs to impact. So we're on the HR team, of course. So we're trying to impact HR to company. Okay, we're trying to ensure that all squads are at full strength and ensure that all candidates have complete core value qualifications and basic role qualifications, and also supervise remedial training for SLA violations. Okay, Boo Boo, to you, what does it mean to supervise remedial training for SLA violations?
Remedial training for the SLA video violation is for what the employee that cannot follow the SLAs are.
Yeah.
So it's for the remedial.
Yes. Okay. Vita, would you agree or expand on what Boo Boo just said?
to expand.
Yeah.
I agree to expand. I think it's kind of like a reactive response towards any SLA violations, kind of like giving informations or giving what do I say? Not announcement, but like giving attention to that.
Right.
SLA violations.
Correct. So whenever we see that SLAs aren't being followed, we should really drill down to where and who the issues are coming from. If it is identified to a person, then we need to do this. So for example, let's say for example we have pretty inconsistent reservation inquiry flow by some of the new people handling it. So then the question is, okay, all right, who is handling it and what is the training that needs to be administered? So we'll then look for that training and we'll administer the training and just make sure that the training is happening between the correct parties, okay? So that's essentially to fix people leaks. So, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing. We're hiring market builders, hosts, air support, revenue management, and content So currently, how does Vita feel about fulfilling the first SLA? Do we have full strength squads now? No. Okay, Vita thinks we don't have full strength squads. What about you, Boo Boo? Do you think we have full strength squads right now?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. But why? Why do you think we don't have full strength squads?
The revenue manager is still.
Right. Revenue manager is still a little bit in the cloud. So in order to get this to actually work, we need to upgrade some people to revenue management, and we need to essentially move some new people more into air support. But I think headcount wise and role wise, we actually have enough. Right. So in terms of the overall body count right now, we do have a body count. That sounds like some sort of like massacre. Okay. Just based on the head count now, I do believe we have enough people in each team. It's really just the number of people in each role, which is a little bit less certain. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have too many people right now. Am I correct? Okay, so we actually have more people than actual squads to look after it. So in this particular case, what should we do?
Delegate.
I think we might need to actually form new squads. Right. So currently, here's the idea, guys. So if you and lady, if you do get essentially a situation where you have more than 7 people on a squad, that squad's effectivity starts rolling off. And the reason it starts rolling off is because it's just less clear who's doing what. Now, the only sort of compromise I can give to that right now is, let's say, night shift. So everyone's contributing and donating a person to night shift. So I think on most squads we can say maybe we can upgrade it to 4 hosts or such. Where actually we do kind of have 4 hosts. We have three regular hosts and the air support host. So with that and night shift, that should be a full strength squad. Should be filled with by HR within 2 weeks. Okay, how good are we doing on that?
Recruiting new candidates, sir.
Yeah, how fast does it take us to find a new candidate?
Pardon, sir.
How long do you think, Boo Boo, it takes us to find a new candidate to replace a absent role?
2 weeks, sir.
Okay, about he thinks 2 weeks. What do you think, Vita?
Like 3 to 1 month.
3 weeks to 1 month. The truth is, we don't know. The truth is, we're not even measuring right now.
But I was thinking about 3 weeks to 1 month is like since then they asking for air support or host. And
Right.
we can just like fulfill one and now have your on-site trials after like a month.
Right. So we need to actually, okay, the HR request will be a definite way that we can actually understand when these requests are being fulfilled, right? We can look at the HR request and see when the card was created, and then we can look at see when it was actually fulfilled. Okay, so the reason why we have 2 weeks onboarding and 2 weeks selection, 2 weeks onboarding is because generally leave of notice, notice leave is a month, right? So if anybody's about to resign, then they typically will give us a month, hopefully if they're good, to make a decision. Okay, all right, so that's the idea of bringing somebody in. Let's see. All right, so this is actually a good discussion topic because what do we need in order to keep our HR able to recruit anybody within 2 weeks? What do we need to do? Over to Boo Boo.
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay, Boo Boo's not sure. What about you? What do you think?
Just to fulfill the HR.
If we're going to fulfill that SLA of being able to recruit somebody within 2 weeks, what will we need to do?
If we refer to that, we can actually hire internal people, not hire, but like rotate the people.
Okay.
Or also, if we want to recruit the new people, do more of exposures like seminars, career fair,
Okay.
and Instagram.
Okay, got it. Okay, so Vita thinks that there's a possibility to rotate people around. Maybe, let's say, short term. Maybe we can move, like, there's too many content people. Maybe we can move somebody over to be a host for a few days. Or air support shares roles with, let's say, host. There's 2 ways you can do this. There's a few ways you can do this. One is you hire more people than you actually need. right? So essentially you have a reserve team of people who are essentially placed on hold while the main operational teams sort of work. Part of the idea around this is to like have senior people move off and just start delegating more work to people who are newer in the company. Then that creates a little bit more free time on senior people so that in emergency situations, a senior person could come in and fill in the role. The other way is, of course, ongoing, like what Vita said about doing outreach at universities and doing all these programs. But these are very long funnel programs. These are like planting seeds today and waiting for fruit maybe in 3 or 4 years. Literally, it's like that. The other way you have to do it is you have to keep the hiring machine spinning at all times, which essentially means you're hiring even when you're not actually looking for anybody. And the reason for that is because we really don't know when actually somebody will be passed and qualified, and people have a lot of variables with them. So the only way to ensure certainty on our end that we have somebody when we need somebody is to really keep the hiring machine going. Okay, so then that presents a sort of a moral hazard, right? So are we hiring people who we don't actually plan to hire? So then you can do something else. What else can we go in that particular path? If we're going to be opening roles for roles that we don't actually plan to fill at the moment, so what do we do? What do we do when we get a candidate that passes our requirements? Approach? Okay.
Vita, please close to the monitor because I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying like more proactively approaching not candidates, but like people who are open on new job, like what you are doing in LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. So we can approach candidates through matching and such. Okay, but even then, that's not entirely certain because you got to remember, in hiring, there's a funnel. Right? So there's contact, there's first interview, there's second interview, there's this sort of funnel commitment as we get towards the end. Now we know that, let's say, from the very beginning to the very end, sometimes it takes months, right? So what do we do? Okay, the hard answer is this: you have to always keep some people that are pretty close to being hired.
And if you could try again.
No, even deeper. You probably have to have some people who are almost on on-site trials or even past on-site trials and just marinating.
Okay.
And so the only way to make that essentially fair is to make your on-site trials harder, more difficult, more essentially elaborate, more commitment to actually get in. So basically the on-site trials should get progressively more challenging. And so let's say somebody actually does make it in. Then we know, okay, all right, we got a really strong candidate here. We might not need them right now, but they're so strong, maybe we'll just put them in. And then this also elevates the entire skill level of the entire team, right? So that everyone who works here knows that we hire really the most rigorous people. And that will force that upwards movement in overall competency and overall commitment to what we're doing. So, but I think the thing is, we always have to actually keep the HR cycle running because we don't know. We don't know, actually, as we get bigger, we don't know when somebody's family might call them back. We don't know when a candidate might go, hey, this isn't for me anymore. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I think at any given time, we do need to keep the pipeline towards the end as full as possible so that if there's any uncertainty, then essentially there's another person ready to come in within just a few days, right? And that role can be essentially upped. But this also forces us to create more creative on-site trials that essentially filter more selectively when we have, let's say, enough people on the teams already. Okay? All right, so that's just kind of like a vision of how we can do that. Okay, new employees at process level. Right, so we said that new employees should be able to function at a process level, either process involvement or process competency level, and that's the career journey at Bukit Vista. Okay, all right, cool. So that's the SLA. Let's go ahead and take a look at Vita and her approach to improving that SLA. So Vita wants to do better candidate expectation to recreate job posts. Great, fantastic. That's a great idea. What will you do?
So I'm gonna actually sit together with the chapter lead and create this job post based on the reality or based on the expectation of the chapter
Okay.
on the new candidate.
Okay, create the.
I'm secretary.
Oh yeah, you're secretary. Okay, so this should actually. Okay, Ms. Secretary, go ahead and put that in. All right, so Vita will put in the. I also actually want to do this. What I'm beginning to see, that's very clear to me, is that the chapter leads are not all fully formed leaders yet. Okay. If the chapter leads are not fully formed leaders, and this is why HR is taking a bit more initiative in the hiring process, because I don't think we actually have developed full capacity leadership in a lot of chapters yet. Air support, is there a true leader yet in air support who can sort of manage? The next step is, let's say somebody who is chapter lead would be managing 6, 7, 10 people who are doing air support. Do we have a person currently who is thinking about it in that level, or thinking about actually how to delegate and how to chop up the work? Not quite. So I think in certain ways, we can still sit with the chapter lead to get an idea of what the expectations of the job are. But I think we also need to write job descriptions for essentially what we aspire to be, right? Meaning like the way we did with Blend Tech. So instead of just looking and limiting to what we are now, I think we need to create a job description for what we anticipate it to be. Because if we write a job description for what we think is for now, then how do we presuppose growth in the person's journey? Okay, so take a combination of a few factors. Take what happens now, and then also take what like we aspire to do. And I think that will create a balanced job post. Okay, and then proper HR handover. What? Okay. Oh well, let's go to the key result. How will you know your key result has actually been achieved? How will you know that the candidate has better expectations?
On my question, every interview, I'll always ask like, what is your role knowledge? So, because I'm looking for if it match with their motivation, right? So if they know the what the role is about, and then it match with the motivation, they're good to go in a way that about expectations. Because there are some people actually having like kind of applying for online guest support, but having the expectations to meet the guest. Yes, I mean sometimes if you cover the bits of the host, you could meet the guest, but that's not necessarily yes.
Can I just suggest maybe you can produce a few videos of each role? So if you produce a few videos, I have a very large content team right now, so I think we can assume that they got some bandwidth to do this. Let's say you produce a video like a day in the life of air support, right? Showing like, okay, this is me, I'm Shinthia, when I wake up, this is my journey through Bukit Vista. So, and then essentially that would be probably the most clear way to create those expectations, right? And there probably wouldn't be any misalignments and, oh, what is it that I actually do, right? I think we could write a script for that, like a narrative for that, and then get that out there. And then the key result could be, all right, we've probably made it as clear as possible as we possibly could with these resources. And then it would just be a matter of, okay, I watched the video, I understand what this job is. Right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Next one. So key results. I guess you will have. How many new descriptions will you have on the job post?
One for each chapter.
Okay, great. So one new job description for each thing, perhaps with a video link on it, so that they can. Hey, if you want to know more about this job, click on this link, and we will inform you about what more there is to know about it. Okay, great. And partner with IT to add testimony. Okay, think about what you want your key result to be, and that way it can be encapsulated. Let's go to the next one, proper HR handover. What does proper HR handover mean?
So I realized this yesterday when we have Nadila on board,
Mhm.
Alvin was kind of like asking me, so what is the offer in Nadila's? I know not the offer, but like what is written in Nadila's offer about her job description or her like her day off.
Mhm.
He didn't tell me nor first to tell Alvin. And I asked Nadila, but then she said that yeah. You give her like the 2 days off. I mean, it makes sense for her because she's also taking school. So, what I meant by proper HRM number is at least after we onboard someone, there is like maybe you tell the project champion about what is written in the offer in terms of the job description or
Right.
what is expected to them, and then me or Ara could pass that
Okay.
to the
Sounds good.
the HR.
Okay, I like this. This is a good idea. So there's I think two parts of this. I think this should be like a seat and then a person, right? Meaning that if let's say Alvin has a vision for what he needs, it needs to be a clear vision. Meaning you need to create that seat. You need to create that role. What is it that you need in order to have, let's say, your job to be able to be delegated, to be able to expand? When you put in a new employee request, it cannot just be, I need another person. It should be, I need another person specifically to fill in these particular skill sets, these particular duties, and these particular times, right? So then we've already created a seat, essentially, for a person. We've created a mold. And then all we have to do is put the person in the mold and then it fits, right? Exactly there. So there should be no surprise about, what's going on with this person. It should be like, I already have a very clear vision of how somebody else is going to actually do this work. Because right now I do see that problem too as well. There's no clear vision. We've had new people for a while and it's a constant struggle to get like this sort of meshing to happen. And I just don't understand, right? Like Cynthia was asking for, hey, I need a new person, I need a new person, I need a new person. And then we have a new person there, but you know, like is this person being fully utilized, right? And then Chandra was asking for another person. So I said, okay, just drop everything on the person first and see what happens. But it would work much better if they both had actually more clear vision for what the next person would do. Because currently I'm keep on saying, please delegate, please delegate, please delegate, which means that they have no vision. Right. So we need two parts, I think, to this. One is, I think, on maybe the employee request, we should probably put something on the form that says, what specific skills do you need and what specific tasks would you like to delegate and when do you want this person to cover, right? So sometimes it's like an off day, sometimes it's like these things. So then if we have that, we can tell the candidate, okay, these are essentially your duties and this is what we're hiring you for. Okay? All right, great. I think that'll be a great new process. So what can we do about that, Rita?
On the proper HR handover, I think so. In that part that you said that we need to ask the people who is asking for the new hire as well. It could be like at the same time be done on the first thing when I'm actually sitting with the chapter lead as well to create the job post.
Okay.
So it could be also like put there, right? Like
Yes.
what is needed, the requirement of the person. So then I think in this proper HR handover, maybe it's more into like how you as the one who give the offer, give the project champion the offer, and then how I kind of make like the workflow of this one.
Okay. Okay. The workflow on the HR handle. Okay.
So the key results would be the workflow.
Okay. All right. Next one is to create a standardized on-site.
And then, how do I say that so that it's measurable, sir? So that there will be no more confusion on the chapter.
I guess that's a service level agreement. So really, sometimes what we have to do is we have to actually ask ourselves, are we creating the correct objective? So let's say, for example, you want to reduce candidate expectation. You want to reduce candidate disappointment. Okay, so what? So what if you reduce candidate like misalignment? How does that actually push us further towards the mission? So what part of that does that help? Right? So that part I think helps screening candidates. Right? So it reduces the number of candidates we have to screen and process and reject if candidates have the correct expectation before they apply. Right? So if you really want to talk to people and you're really into people and then we give you an online guest support job, we don't have to find out, let's say all the way at the end during trials, that you expected that you would actually be in front of people. Because that would be kind of disappointing, right? So we need to move that sort of disappointment up to the front as possible. Really, it's to create efficiency in the hiring process. We don't have any internal SLAs yet, but I think we need to start thinking about them. What is our conversion rate from the number of people that apply to the number of people who we invite for interviews to the number of people who go into first, second, and then final interviews? Currently, we have no metric to measure this yet. And so we don't know how efficient we are. If 100 people apply and we invite only, let's say, 2, then maybe our source is not very efficient. We're spending a lot of time looking at CVs and we're only getting 2% out of that source. But maybe out of that 2%, we only take 1% of that for our first interviews. So then what is it about that? What is it about, like, let's say, the loss? Effectively, I would say that you're trying to create more efficiency through the system, and more efficiency would mean you get hires faster. The ultimate goal is 1 CV, 1 hire. So I think that opens up a bigger discussion, and we can have some discussion about that. But yeah, some of these key results are hard to find if we don't have, let's say, the right objective in the beginning. If we have the right objective, then it becomes a bit more tangible to see. All right, and then create standardized on-site. Okay, what's on-site trials or on-site?
On-site trials.
Okay, let's go ahead and put that in. Standardized on-site trials. Okay, what is the hardest part about creating standardized on-site trials right now?
The hardest part, not the creating part, but when it's the day of the on-site trials. Sometimes like the person in charge not match with their time, so it couldn't be fulfilled.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking about these standardized on-site trials is like what we're doing with MD right now. So in terms of instead of we are actually creating the agenda for them, but they could make their own agenda after the first day of orientation on what they should do. But then also like by standardized mean like we know what we want to actually assess on the candidates during the on-site trials, because the situation that come up while me and I actually created the new on-site trial for the MD this time is because the way we assess the candidates on on-site trials is quite subjective on the person who is actually involved with them. But we don't have the assessment on that. So I'm gonna put, wait a second.
Boo Boo, what do you think about this?
I think it's a good way to standardize the on-site trials to make it effective to us to recruit the candidate.
Okay, got it. All right.
These are like no, not this one. Wait a second. Let me check.
Okay, well, Vita checks, let's skip ahead real quick and just take a look at where Boo Boo is. Oh, okay, Boo Boo's already done his October OKRs. Congratulations, thank you. All right, so Boo Boo is looking to actually get a event, birthday, anniversary. Okay, got it. Birthday, anniversary. Okay, good. And he's looking to get a 10% result, 10% improvement on ESS. Okay, that's pretty funny. All right, Boo Boo, do you think that remembering people's birthdays will result in an overall 10% improvement on employee satisfaction?
Yes, sir. It's just only on teammate satisfaction, sir.
Okay, I would
Not
argue that it might not, and this is why. Because I don't think more than 10% of the Bukit Vista population has a birthday every month, right? So the true effect of, let's say, this is probably less than 10% of the overall population. of that overall population, they would have to, let's say, give 100% better reviews on what their employee surveys were in order to move the overall surveys up by 10%. So in this particular regard, I think remembering birthdays and celebrating birthdays is vital, but you also have to remember the metrics at which we are measuring employee satisfaction. How satisfied are you with your role? How satisfied are you with your teammates? What do you think is the improvement potential for the company? What do you think is the growth potential for the company? But all these things are not essentially addressed by celebrating birthdays at the moment, right? They could improve, let's say, people's happiness with their teammates, but I don't know if your teammates are suck for 30 days and they're nice to you on your birthday, would that actually make a difference? So I think the expectation in this to actually create that kind of impact is a little bit maybe overestimated in this particular case, right? Remembering birthdays and anniversaries is a good thing. It's a good cultural practice. And yes, it adds up to, I think, overall employee satisfaction, but a 10% change in the mark is probably a bit of an overestimate, yeah? So
Okay, sir.
I need you to either come up with a more realistic improvement scale. Maybe it could improve it by maybe 1%, I'm thinking, right? That all of a sudden, let's say employees and work anniversaries are more, oh, okay, there you go. All right, so the next one is host a reservation, learn the Jojic Bible for BVers and place with elder HAR members. Okay, great. 100% host a reservations in Jojic. Okay, fantastic, that's great. So who are the people you're going to be learning from, Boo Boo?
I'm learning from Chandra,
Okay.
Cynthia, Busta, and also Dominic, sir.
Okay, fantastic, very good. Okay, and when Dominic's here, like as in today, who are you going to learn hosting from?
Chandra, Cynthia, and sir.
Okay.
They are sure.
Okay, look forward to seeing that. Next one is hiring, CV scanning every day, increase interview skills, interviewing. Okay, and you're looking to get one new OGS skill, scan, and okay, great. So you're looking to hire somebody that's been scanned and interviewed by you. Okay, all right,
Okay.
cool. And then the last one is LinkedIn. Create narrative once a week for LinkedIn posts. Increase 10% followers on LinkedIn. Okay, great. That's fantastic. Thank you for getting involved in the LinkedIn part too as well. So yes, go ahead.
Sir, my fourth OKR is for completing ARAS OKR, sir. So we can apa?
Work together.
Work together
Okay.
for the OKR.
All right, fantastic. Well, in order to increase the 10% of the followers, you really do need to know what the follower count is today. Okay? So let's see. Do you know what the follower count is today?
Yesterday is around 1,000, sir.
Around 1,000? No, it's not around 1,000. If it's 1,000, you've already succeeded, right?
I'm sorry, sir. Yesterday I haven't checked the LinkedIn because I make a deal with the partner with Dominic, sir, to
Okay.
the Omah Kerja.
Okay, let's go ahead and do this, Boo Boo. What I need you to do is two things. I jumped on you in this one because if you think it's 1,000, then you've already been successful and you haven't done anything, right? Because the number of followers we have right now is already 1,100. So that's already 10% more, okay? Yeah. More exhaustive than that. We're on our way. My OKR is to beat Potato Head on their LinkedIn followers, right? So increasing by 10% isn't exactly very concrete. So what is more concrete is, let's say this. Let's take a look at where LinkedIn is, and let's look at the analytics, and we can see how we're doing on our followers. So if we open this up right now and we say, all right, so what is going on?
At 11, because I have to see.
Okay, we're waiting for that statistic too. Oh, okay, the statistic is there. So if you look at the follower count that we have on LinkedIn, we can analyze it and we can know a few things. So the follower count is always a sliding window of the past 30 days, okay? So one of the goals is to get more followers all the time, so that we always get a high peak of this. You can see most of our followers are coming from Jakarta, and then after that Denpasar, after that West Java, after that Banten, after that Jogja. So not a lot of people are actually following us who actually have locations in Jogja. All right, we're very far away from Gojek. Gojek has 300,000 followers. We have 1,000, so we're 1/3 of 1% of Gojek. And you can see our new follower count is also much slower than Gojek. They get 22,000 followers a month. We get 400 followers a month. But the good news is that in this light, we are better than Flybali, we're better than Hatton. We've already exceeded Hatton, which is a much longer established brand than Bukit Vista. So that's pretty good. 30 days, and PT Arapan Bali Utama only has 1 follower. Okay, so we're doing better than some Bali companies already. That part's good. And then let's look at Ayana. Ayana, what's really sweet is we were halfway at the same follower growth as Ayana. And once again, Ayana is a huge brand. They've been around for a very long time. And we are one to find us followers that would not have followed us. So what kind of content can you create that's very compelling and would get more people involved? How many friends can you bring in, right? And how many friends can they bring in? So those are new strategies that can add to the rate of followers going up. But 10% growth is something that we're already experiencing already, right? So saying 10% growth is a little bit of an underestimate on a target. Okay, cool,
Sure.
right? Got it. Okay, Boo Boo.
What if 50%, sir?
Okay, try it. Go for a 50% growth, right? 50% growth meaning 1,500.
I will figure out how to get the 50% followers, sir.
Okay, so you
We'll discuss with Ara.
okay, you need to start with where we are today, and you need to look at this is before, and then you need to have 1,650. And so once you have a goal, you can start analyzing how many followers you're getting every day, how many followers you're getting to each post, and then that allows you to have more coordinated effect on your narrative. Okay, great. Let's go back to Vita's OKR.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's jumping back into Vita's OKR about creating standardized on-site trials. Okay, so productivity, owner, contact center. Okay, okay, all right, that's good. Okay. Okay, so it's like a it's a test now, yeah.
So basically, we have the can you go? Sorry, yeah. The qualities, right? So the qualities is actually like what we are going to see from the candidates. Like in terms of MB, we want to see the productive and quality in terms of how many owners contact generated, ability to follow MB workflow, and then accuracy in scoring the properties, desirability, and revenue potential. And then after that, we put target on that. For example, how many we target them to get the owner's contact, like target is 10, and then in the actual how many they generated, and then we take a look at the percentage, and then take a look at the total, and then how many actually they pass it like according to our needs. So it's more objective and it's fairer for the candidate as well.
Okay.
Because like what happens with Nadila, right? So it's kind of like because of one person's because of Cynthia's think about the integrity, and then all of the people's kind of like, okay, so should we or shouldn't we onboard her in terms of this? So we kind of see like the whole thing.
Okay, holistic, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, we can see the pros and the cons of a candidate. I like this. This is a cool rubric. Okay, does this have a roadmap?
By roadmap.
Roadmap meaning like you anticipate any further evolutions of this document.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
good.
Because the roadmap could change in terms of the qualities that we want to see from the candidate.
Great. So then we should have an evaluation roadmap. This is
Yes.
your version 1, and then
Okay.
you should have like pivots and execution points. This is a very long process, and I think we should actually version this, meaning that the results of this don't actually happen until a few months later.
Yeah.
Right? So you can set new metrics actually for this kind of thing, for HR effectiveness. What is the time to the first completed deal for a new market builder, right? What is the size of the deal pipeline after 3 months? So then this would be KPIs you could use to evaluate the effectiveness of your selection. So you would effectively look, it's like you're creating a wine. You're creating wine. You start with the grape, and then you do the bottling, and then you're like, okay, wine no good, wine no good. You know, this is a year later, but the notes have to be put down first, yeah? Okay, it's like winemaking, people making,
People making.
market building.
Sounds. People making.
Oh yeah, I just realized what I said, yeah, I realized what I said. Okay, anyway, headshot! Okay, so that's Boo-Boo's OKR, that's Vita's OKR. Let's take a look at my OKRs, actually. See if my OKRs can be critiqued. We got about 15 minutes to do this now, and then of course ours OKRs. Okay, so then, all right, here's my OKRs. So what I want to do is I actually need to do this now. One of the most urgent things is to get the market builders to get new property inside the funnel. Why do you think this is important?
Because the bigger the containers, let's say, the more also all of the things follows up on the bigger of the platforms.
Yeah, we have a lot of people right. All right, so I think. Okay, we'll wait. Student community. Oh, STP. That's going on this month. Okay, looking to get LinkedIn. Okay, good. We're aligned on this goal. Instagram is a good platform for, let's say, serious stuff. I think LinkedIn is far better for that. I think Instagram is more playful stuff.
Yeah,
We show our fun side.
One that we post, yeah, the fun side.
But it has to be fun in a relatable way.
Yeah.
I realize if we put pictures of people that they don't know, they're not going to like it. Because they don't know what it is, right? They don't even know if it's Bukit Vista. I have an idea. I think we need to do a transition. Most of the people in the groups know me, so it has to be at least me in it with somebody else. And then over time, I'm gone and just that other person is there. Yeah? Does that make sense? Kind of like okay. All right. So let's talk about expanding the size of the BV portfolio. Why do you think it's important for us to get more properties right now, Boo-Boo?
Because to get more properties, I think we will make our market bigger so we can increase our revenue, sir.
Okay, right. Why do we need to increase our revenue now?
Because we must grow up, sir.
Okay.
So we need to increase our revenue.
Okay, all right. Vita, what do you think?
Because revenues the way right now we count our growth.
Okay, great. Yes, that's all very true. But there's another more obvious answer. We have more people here now. And everyone who's here draws down a salary, of course, right? And so even the interns draw a salary. So if we have more people, we do need more new revenue sources. And as we're going into the next few months, do you expect the revenue to go up or go down?
Go up, sir.
Do you expect it to go up? What do you think, Vita? Will it go up or go down in the next few months?
If we what?
In the next few months, do you expect the revenue to go up or down?
Next few months, until December, to go down.
Yes, Vita's right. Next few months, Boo-Boo, for tourism-related majors, are low season months. October, November, and early December are all very low season. Yeah. So if we don't find a way
It's a low season.
Yeah, if we don't find a way to pump up the revenue, then essentially the company will start essentially bleeding more cash out, right? So we want definitely to focus on onboarding new properties. But what's the other reason we need to onboard more properties right now too?
Pardon, sir. I can hear you clearly.
What's the other reason we need to onboard more properties now too?
To expand our presence.
Yep. Okay. Good. There's another reason.
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. The other reason is now is the best time to grow, right?
Oh, because we're not focusing on operations.
Right. Now is the best time to actually grow the property portfolio up until April of next year. When we get really busy with, let's say, doing operations and everything, it's really hard to grow because you're putting in a lot of new product, and this product is then going into production right away, and it's generating a lot of issues with, let's say, reservations and owner relationships and all this stuff, and it adds more headaches to operations people. But if you actually start growing right now, you have the longest amount of time to normalize behavior with an owner until things get really, really busy. So currently, the next few months will actually be the best time to grow. It's also fairly important because we don't want people slowing down. Because what's going to happen is if we don't bring in new things for people to work on, people generally slow down. And when people generally slow down, they get less effective. And then it requires quite a lot of energy to get them back into like a production mode again. So we want to keep essentially there to be an even pace of work. And the best way to do that is to bring in new properties. New properties always keeps things fresh, keeps minds fresh. And so it keeps essentially the engine from slowing down. Okay? All right. Boo Boo, you need to mute your mic. It's picking up quite a lot of chatter in your background. Boo Boo, mute please.
Mute.
Oh yes.
Pace about 2 a week. The past 3 weeks has been 0-0. Now it's kind of back up again. So I'm going to get more involved in actually the market building process and actually pioneering new markets too as well, like in new places.
Is it the Sanur expedition?
Sonora is one, but I think there's also a lot of areas that we can go. I might be just like traveling on a motorbike across Bali for a week just to see if there's any new places that we haven't seen. I do believe market builders should be out in the field more, and this is a good time to do it. And then the other thing is also look across the country to see if there's any expansion opportunities in other areas. And as soon as we get that, then we can start pushing and growing Jogja again, growing Bandung, and these other places that could be potentially really interesting for Bukit Vista. Okay, the next part is to build a student community, and we already talked about the STP career days. We're looking to actually, we don't need 500 applicants. We should get over 1,000 applicants with that. With that movement, there is more than 500 people that go to the STP thing. And maybe Boo Boo would actually, wait, if we bring Boo Boo over, then there's nobody in Jogja. Maybe we'll trade. Okay, but that could be a good thing. I'll think about that, Boo Boo, whether to bring you over for a business trip to do the career festival, yeah, at STP. Currently, we never get anything out of that, actually. We get very few.
What is the career days?
I think it's October 14th and 15th. Yeah. So.
Shall we prepare? I mean,
It's pretty easy. We just take that design that we always had. Yeah, we should prepare. We should prepare. Okay, we should prepare. Ara would actually be the best person to do that. She's already done it before in the past, so she kind of knows what the drill should be. But yes, I think we should prepare. But the goal of all these things is really to enhance our online communities. So every offline event is to support the online community. Okay, and then of course attain our October revenue goals and develop leadership and also develop an industry-leading LinkedIn profile. Okay, so that's essentially all the OKRs that we have for the moment. Let's take a quick look and just see if Ara has actually finished her OKRs. I think she has, right, Boo Boo? Boo Boo's muted. Ara's actually finished her OKRs ready for October, right?
I think she's not yet, but the progress is over 80%, I think.
Not sure what that means. Oh, okay. All right, 80% done, 20% not done. Okay, so we're looking on optimize LinkedIn performance for follower engagement. Okay, very good. Okay, that's good. And then improve talent growth by increasing bonding. Okay, and then hire.
Yes.
Okay, put employee success on any of our OKRs.
by employee success.
Like the new hires, like we have quite a lot of new hires now. We got Daniel, we got the 2 market builders, we got Kuldeep, we got Nadila. That's like 5, 6, 7 people. So I think part of the commitment is to bring all these people up to their first promotion. So who's actually looking after everyone? I guess that's part of squad level duties, right? To be continued.
I think I can put that in the handover box.
Right. Okay, all right. Yeah, that is part of handover. That's actually pretty crucial. Ara should work on that too. Okay, all right. So that pretty much concludes our discussion. Okay, so yeah, we spent an hour to talk about OKRs, which is
On the talk about this one, sir. How do you
Sure.
assess teamwork on candidates?
Which
The
one was it?
leadership one.
Oh, teamwork. It's a good question. Okay, since we have some time left over. Oh, actually, I have another one. We have an answer for you for the leadership guild thing. The difference between. Okay, but that's on a different. Okay, all right. That's later on. How do we assess teamwork? I guess. Yeah, that's a good question. How do you think we should assess teamwork, Vita? I think teamwork is leadership, and I think it's LCI at first, and it goes into LCE eventually. All right. So let's say we're talking about teamwork. How do we assess it? I think the first level of teamwork is essentially being essentially a good model, a good role model. Okay, let's see if this says it. Let's just take a look at that. A good teammate should have good core value fit, good role fit, strong ownership characteristics, and ability to demonstrate good follower abilities. They seek guidance, they own their personal development, and they own their training. Is that good teamwork?
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's say somebody's more evolved in teamwork. So then they can lead. They can bring other people to follow their examples by being more proactive in the team, by leading in all hands, by leading a guild, by leading an OKR meeting, a democratic discussion, Socratic discussion, event, a workshop. They can start actually applying that teamwork in a more scalable way. And then I think the third level is when they actually progress not just within the company, but they progress also outside the company, right? They're in full alignment with the company's vision, and they can actually attract teams that don't even work there yet. Yeah? So teamwork is, in fact, leadership in a way.
Okay.
Yeah?
So in a line.
Yeah, I would say LI would represent good teamwork. Yeah.
Thank you. Cool.
Great follower abilities. Because yeah, if you have good core value fit, you're helping others first, you're using data, not assuming, you're never settling, you're failing fast, you're being the hero, you're doing all the things that are involved in core value fit, you should be a pretty good teammate, right? And you should be, okay, great. Okay, all right, let's see, good stuff. All right, so I guess, okay, that was a question outside of the scope, so Mr. Secretary, I guess we can move that over to old business. And then I think we can delete that other business about dedicating each sync up to just a specific topic because we're doing that already. And then the other thing was, oh, right, so just we have 5 minutes, so we'll talk about it. So we were going to discuss this topic about essentially candidates that exhibit a strong fit for mission fit. We will always sponsor that, strong mission fit. So if they're here for the mission, then we will endorse that. And it was also about relative sacrifice or relative. So for a person to come from a region further away to here is a bit more of a sacrifice than a person who goes a little bit closer.
But my question will be other things. So are they going to get expat salary or local salary?
That's a good question. Yeah,
If they're
we
actually,
didn't finish that discussion actually.
if they're getting the expat salary, they're losing nothing because it's just the same. If they're actually getting the local salary, then it means that
We think it's this though, Vita. We think essentially every role should be paid the same for the same amount of competency. So if it is at the same competency level, then that role is essentially paid in a fair structure. So if there is not a corresponding competency, then that will not matter whether or not you're expat or not.
yeah, I would agree if
Yeah.
that's
But
the case.
the case is actually something new too as well, which is there are a lot of roles where we don't know what the salary should be. For example, what is the salary of, let's say, if we want to hire a data scientist to Bukit Vista? Or what is the salary of a global PR promoter, right? With, let's say, contacts to international magazines and publications. So those types of cases are a little bit more complex, right? If we want to get somebody that has access to that, then we kind of need to pay for that particular package. Also, it is a little bit of a trade-off market. A lot of the roles that we intend to hire are going to be, I think, fairly new roles for Indonesia, let's say Anna Wintour, right? Let's say we hire Anna Wintour. Well, how much will we have to pay her?
All of our
Quite a lot, probably.
Profit.
Quite a lot, probably. If we want to hire Anna Wintour to run our PR campaigns, we'll probably have to pay her a lot. And it's then a question of, okay, do you want Anna Wintour to run your PR, and should you fundraise to get that, or do you not? And in those particular cases, we are in sort of new territory where there isn't exactly a marketplace for this in Indonesia at the time. So since we are a growing tech company this year, like let's say, for example, if we were to hire a social media manager, not to outreach to, let's say, an Indonesian audience, but say outreach to a French audience or an English audience, then should that person be paid as the same as a social media manager who's reaching out to, let's say, a Jakarta audience? It's a little bit hard to say, right? It's a little bit hard to say, okay, what is the potential impact and benefit of that? Are these two social media managers equally skilled? Is Anna Wintour the same as the person who runs Indonesia Tatler, right? So in these particular cases, we are in very new territory, and we really are on sort of a what Jing thinks kind of basis right now,
Yeah.
right? So it is not a policy yet. In my mind, it's always about this. It's about, can we live without this person, or can we live with this person? So let's say, for example, we don't hire somebody who this is one of my regrets ever since the beginning. I regret not hiring a PR person from the beginning. I regret not hiring HR people since the beginning, right? We've had to develop a lot of our own intuition and of our own sort of understanding of how HR works. And, part of it is okay. Part of it is, okay, that's what makes Bukit Vista bring on HR people on board. Actually, we couldn't, because we see all the senior HR people are pretty useless anyways. But let's say we could. Let's say we could have hired somebody who did HR for Airbnb, right? And I did try doing that too. And they would expect a very different salary, of course, because they work in Singapore, they work in the US, than somebody who does HR here. Would it have been the right move to hire them? I would have said yes at this point. I would have said yes. Whatever it would have taken to hire these people could have accelerated our growth by far more than what it looks like today. And maybe we'd have 3,000 properties today rather than 300. So in terms of what's going on in my mind, I'm always trying to figure out what is essentially like the company needs and what is the correct compensation to pay for each particular role. I don't know yet, and this is probably why we have HR Guild meetings. This is a journey to discover what that answer can be. But in terms of, let's say, candidates, if let's say Kulip was from Sumatra or from just around the corner even, but he showed the same intensity to appear, then I would have also shown selective favoritism towards a candidate who did that. There was another candidate, what was it, Leon, that we might have heard of before. He came here absolutely on his own, without the promise of a plane ticket. In Leon's case, it didn't work out, unfortunately, but still, I did show a lot of bias towards people who are coming from very, very far to undertake this journey, because it is a very uncertain pathway. Okay, all right. So, and it's also fairly entrepreneurial.
But is it like also you're saying that correct me if I'm wrong, but like you're also actually having a doubt with your own company. If you're saying that, I mean, like
that is, you always have to have some doubt.
no, I mean like in terms of if you see your company highly, you would think it's actually normal for people to get attracted to your company.
Oh, in that sense, okay. But let's be statistical and let's not be, let's say, it is the beginning of something that we are noticing more and more behavior on, right? So in sort of a statistical presence, there is going to be far fewer people who, for me, it signals a sense of entrepreneurial willingness more than anything else. Oh, you're saying, okay, should those people, well, I don't know though. I would say that if a person comes in with, let's say, a more strong angle of commitment from the beginning, then we can consider that this person is, let's say for example this happens. Let's say for example we get a candidate and they already know what they're going to do, right? They say, hey look, I know what I'm going to do there. I've already studied everything about your company, and the day you hire me, everything will work accordingly. And you don't even need to manage me. I'll manage myself. I'll essentially know what to do. That's what really we're looking for at this moment. This whole HR process is to actually weed out the ones that don't know from the ones that do know, and also train the ones that are kind of fuzzy in the middle to be a bit more in line with the company. But ideally, yeah, it should be people they just show up, they say, hey, look, I know you need this, these are the problems, I'm ready to get to work. That'd be great, fantastic, just pick up a shovel and join us, right? So if we did that, we save on training time, we save on the whole onboarding time, we save on wondering and selecting, okay, is this person ready or not? So part of that is essentially a higher efficiency. But do I imagine that people all over the world will join the company today? It's a start. It's a start, and we do need to encourage that. Right? We do need to help that process flow. We do need to make it easier. This country doesn't make it easy for foreigners to actually work here. So we kind of need to fight against the natural grain of it to allow for a more maybe progressive policy on employment in general. Their difference in case. Also in Hendy's case, it was never about anything besides himself. It was about the salary. He was coming to work in Bali with his family. And so I could see from that particular angle, there wasn't any love of our mission. There wasn't any love of like what we're about to do. And so that immediately got me to think about that case where Steve Jobs fired the best programmer. And we've had to do that in the past too as well. We've had to let go of really, really strong people, or actually sometimes it was even worse. They sort of betrayed us too. So you don't want people who are essentially really, really skilled and talented, but they have no love of the mission. In fact, that becomes more of a liability than actually a benefit. If you are an extreme authority in your field, and you don't really care about Bukit Vista, you don't really care how that lines up, then it starts putting more people off track, and that can be confusing over time. Okay, so that is the clearest explanation I have for the moment to describe why there was a particular favor towards one side and not towards the other. Okay, all right, let's see. But we are, at the end of the day in HR, looking for people who are super passionate. We are looking for people who are driven by the mission of what we're about to do. And I think if people have the desire to be in this particular time, this particular role, then I think we can work with them in a very interesting way. Okay, all right. That being said, let's actually adjourn the meeting. We're almost 5 minutes over time. So let's pick the next successor. So let's see. The next chairperson will be Vita. Okay, and the next secretary will be, I guess, Boo Boo, since R probably won't be here on the next one. And then next recorder will be Jing.
Actually, if I take a look at one paper about like conducting a meeting, recorder should be the secretary.
We do it here because the recording will slow down your machine if you record. So that's the only reason we do it differently. But yeah, I agree. Normally the recorder should be the secretary. Okay. All right, and with that, I would motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?